Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 51 of Egginburgh, our launch day CS2 build. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I've not played CS2 for a little while, you know, and the Northeast pack is here, the one I've been particularly looking forward to, because I want to renovate a lot of central Bourbon with it. There's a lot of zone buildings around here. Probably a little bit too low density really for how close we are to the city centre here. So I think we'll densify some existing stuff here today. But we'll get stuck straight in with the towers, because this is where a lot of the meat and potatoes lies with this pack. Now, the central Bourbon isn't particularly great. There's a lot of green here, really, and I think I want it to be much more dense with roads to get more towers in. So I'm just going to reform the road network around here. I think we'll keep some kind of areas of personality to be built, like these little park plaza areas. These are quite nice. But I definitely want more density, is the key here anyway. So let's just tear out these buildings and sketch up some new road frames. So in a protest against the demolition of Central Bourbon, the Sims are staging a protest on a very active train line. So hopefully they'll move on as the simulation kicks back in. But now we have a much more densified grid, right? So let's start getting some fun buildings in here. So filtering for signature buildings in our zone type find it filters for, of course, the Northeast pack as well. We can find a couple of signature buildings. First of all, the Imperial State is an absolute beast. And goodness me, isn't that stunning? Really like that. That's such a towering, dominant asset, isn't it? I can visualize down the line as we continue to build out CS2 projects that we will very often be featuring this tower in our final skylines. Fantastic work around the bottom as well. A shout out as well to the creators for the Northeast pack: Bad Peanut, Bisquicklehausen, Darth, Jez, Greeny, King Leno, Smileys, and Sniggle Digit. I met a few of these guys over in Finland last year, and as always, the CS community massively props up the experience with just some simply stunning work. I love the creator involvement in development, the creator packs, and I think we'll do a bit of a video and a bit of a review, I think, about these creator around the world packs as well. They've been very much, yeah, kind of unexpected, very welcome surprise. I didn't think we would get as many assets as we have done from these. So big round of applause for them, guys, in the comments. This building 100% I think deserves to possibly be centralized, or at least move back just off the street a little bit. Let's zoom out so we can see the top of the tower. There we go. Let's just have it, yeah, pretty much there. So just set back slightly from the road. You could give it its own drive and centralize it, but I think we'll kind of give the observation tower a bit more room to breathe and paint out a plaza here for some inner city detailing a little bit later on in the video. So let's also come into office stuff as well. I want to start placing a lot of these towers around. There's some kind of older style ones too. I think we'll place possibly 3 of these in and just give them all a little hug with Move It. And hold control to get a finer movement with these. Definitely works as a wider building front through there, doesn't it? Very cool. I definitely want to bring in some height differentiation here as well, as we form this block up. I'll add some of these smaller, older looking ones, maybe just on the outskirts here too. Maybe kind of over here, actually toward the rail line. I can imagine maybe designing a bit of a inner city under rail alleyway that maybe runs just through this little gap that we'll end up with here where that pathway comes through. Chance of some trash props down here. I think maybe it comes into this park. There's some services in these spaces too. In terms of these buildings, I probably want to replace you lot as well, don't I? We're on the main arterial here, aren't we? And we did up to here last time with the urban promenade renovation, didn't we? So I guess we'll take this block with us today too. Let's get rid of these. Let's have a look at some residential stuff. I wouldn't mind forming some residential buildings up against the park. I did once have visions of this central park here, with a lot of these kind of big residential towers looking over it, so now they're here. I'd like to respect it. I don't want to get rid of all of these towers, I don't think. I think I was quite happy with this space, wasn't I? It's just going to kind of fill up to here. Let's bring that pathway straight through the middle as well. There we go. We've also done some of the movement manipulation on this larger super node down here. But this should feel a bit more impressive as we come into the city centre here, I think. We've got another mega tall office here as well. I'd like to feature you quite prominently, I think. Let's have that one in there. Let's get some mixed use blocks through here as well. Try and stick to these larger ones here if I can. Really like this big frontage one here. Let's have this in a quite prominent position. I wouldn't mind possibly two of these together. I really like the frontage here. Super work again, you always know when like those giant names of CS asset creation are involved in a park you're gonna get. Nothing but quality, isn't it wonderful? We've got a bit of a dip in the road here. I think I'm actually going to redraw that entirely. Yeah, I'm liking those there. And aren't they just wonderful? So nice. Let's bring this big row of towers down a little bit here now. I actually wouldn't mind maybe the little alleyway through there as well. That just heads back to that smaller road, so let's bring that directly alongside this tower. And that will connect perfectly into there. And then I just want to bring this block around a bit of a corner, if you like. Just get a 4x2 here. Then we'll flip the orientation there, and then bring that together to complete the block. Very nice. Sometimes when you're trying to form blocks like this, it can be a bit tricky to keep it varied. So in terms of forming these kind of filler blocks, they can be quite difficult sometimes to just get them to look how you want them to. Some tips I use is using the zoning sizes to dictate exactly what you can put in here. So for example, I know I've pretty much got a 3x6 space right now that, don't I? So if I just come into lot width, I just want it to be 3. And then lot depth, 6. So we can't get something 6, but that's fine because this one looks like comes with a little garden. So we can use that to bring out the back of it. But another nice residential asset here. So there we have office, mixed use and residential all together on the corner like that. Oh, so good. They're so nice. Yeah, I guess the vanilla asset and base game selection of assets for CS2 now is crazy because these are all free on Paradox mods. It's just the sheer variety you get for free is pretty mental. You have to commend CS2 for that. And this one here, no, probably want a 4x6, so let's filter for exactly that size of building. And let's have a little browse here. Wouldn't mind another major pop of height, I don't think. So I think we'll bring that on in. And again, just look to bring those buildings together on the corner. We could even probably generate another little alleyway here, actually. Should move the vents enough of those. Trying to make sure that they are locked and historical so they don't change over time, and remove all your better borders of work, which is incredibly annoying, so don't forget to do that. Now let's just pull that up into the corner. And then we can create another really cute alleyway space here that no one will ever see. Because we probably won't ever be back here again after this, but it'll still be worth it. And that actually kind of gives more excuse to this garden around here, doesn't it? So we'll do some inner block detail, I think, too. But I really like that. I think that's a really cute little city block made out of the northeast assets there, isn't it? So that's has so much personality. There's a nice kind of mini internal crawling height in it as well there, isn't there? Incredible. You can imagine kind of Spider-Man sitting on one of these roofs, right? Shooting webs and catching bad guys. Very nice. So I'd love to include some of the new service assets in here as well, of course. Let's not just do zoning everywhere. So we have the high school, which could sit quite tastefully opposite from the medical university. US Elementary is also quite tidy as well. Have a look at this one. Yeah, I think we'll do this one. Again, because it's in the grounds of the Grander Medical Institute, you could almost make the excuse, you know, it's part of the same campus. It's perhaps an older wing of the institute, if you like, know, where they studied back in the 1800s, while this is a much more recent modern structure. I think if you were to better bulldoze the playgrounds off of this building, you can absolutely use it as an excuse to repurpose it into more of a municipal service office, if you like. Yeah, and let's get some trees in the inner city too. Not just have ultra concrete jungle. Let's just go for a couple of oaks. Yeah, very happy with that. We do already have police here. Do we have fire though? Fire is not there. That's medicine. Yeah, there's a couple down the road, but I really like the northeast fire headquarters, and I think I definitely want these in here. We're gonna have that right on corner, I think. Possibly here on this major arterial corner, I think. Just manipulate him to how we want it to sit. I think maybe even actually on the other corner, because this is a smaller building, we can use some of the car props to detail the edge of it against the boundary of that train there. So I reckon this block's actually probably better suited to hold it. And that'll also keep the road police happy as well, because they get triggered when we put service buildings on arterial roads. So this will please them as well, hopefully. Wonderful. Let's bring those surfaces out too. This will detail itself in the time-lapse, won't it? Wonderful. We definitely don't need medical around here just due to all the stuff we already have. There's also a hospital here as well, so that would be a little bit of a waste. But let's come into signature buildings filter again. Wonder if we can combine two police facilities here with the vanilla base game police headquarters with the DLC one. Not the DLC, the content creator pack rather. I don't mind them here. Again, pretty similar to what we're doing with the school and the university. I think we can possibly do something similar here, you know, just connecting in with a bit of service asset car detail in here. Also police cars lined up with fencing around them. Help complement these back alley vibes we want to implement around here too. Should be quite a cool little area of the city, that I think. But let's do a bit of a plop in time lapse and get these little blocks here filled in. And then we can talk about some of the row home stuff I want to do with this as well. So I'm really loving the angles we're getting on those new inner city streets that we painted out here. Wonderful views from the National Art Gallery into the new area. Absolutely fabulous. We got some really wonderful blocks through here, and some nice open inner city plaza action as well available once you get into the inner city streets. And still more to add. We'll detail these little back alleys around the railway during our detail time lapse. But I'm really happy with them. We've also added in another one of the signatures as well. This one right here, the Frankfurt Mansart building, which is very nice, isn't it? Very grand. I love the view to the clock tower too in the skyline from here, right? Isn't that really nice? Super cool. So loving those new towers. Again, with Skyline has been dramatically reshapen today. So the second bit of it, there's a bit of area over here. Again, that's just kind of zoned up with vanilla stuff, and not particularly the best thing to look at. So I think we use this as an excuse to do some row home work, because there's been some really nice new row homes added with the northeastern part. Now we also happen to have the iron press building over here as well, actually, which within itself is already quite a Manhattan, New York-y looking townhouse asset, isn't it? So those are blending perfectly well. So I'm looking for a depth of 4, and let's place in a bunch of row homes down here. So doesn't that just really complete the whole Strode vibe? Big, thick American arterials with lots of super cute row housing, which, to be honest, is pretty flexible across a lot of regions of the world, this kind of stuff. You totally see flats like this in towns and cities in the UK, definitely across Europe, pretty much most of the sort of Western Hemisphere. These were pretty much passed for. They're so flexible, aren't they? So it makes them so good, because it's not like you can only use them if you're building, like, you know, New York or Massachusetts sort of inspired cities. Then with the area around here, I want to pay respect to these big kind of strody corners, right? So I want to place some of the new commercial buildings that we'll get as part of this pack as well, because they're super nice. Let's filter for our low density commercial. We'll go for some of this one here. How about that? What's this one? Public Market Square. Isn't that fabulous? Super nice. And I'll take one of these Chungus boys as well. Just by deleting that one first, I think. We'll have one of those. Just take away that zoning so it doesn't come back through the middle. Aren't they great? They're so nice. I love the little ramp out here. That's such a nice little minuscule detail to the front of the buildings that you can see the air conditioning fans spinning. Very cool. I'm just looking up and down these roads. Fantastic. Blend pretty nice with the vanilla assets as well, you know, these vanilla North American assets are pretty north-easty as well, aren't they? So they're going to blend right in as well with the iron press building here too. Bit more of a, perhaps, New Jersey or greater New York style suburbs, etc. Really cool. So let's delete some of the car park in here because it's not exactly full. And then we'll place in some more row homes here. So now we can have some much greater asset variation. This mixed use stuff is incredible as well, isn't it? You even get kind of old mixed into new there as well. This right here in the middle is a single asset, which is really nice that you can kind of get growables growing in 2 styles like that, and that's super helpful for those that don't really plop. That gives you such a different aesthetic, doesn't it? Also sits very nicely in around our tram depot as well. Super sweet. And again, the occasional vanilla office tower is not unwelcome either, is it? These are definitely the better choice of the assets, the greater packs, but vanilla stuff absolutely works in around it, doesn't it? Seeing that greater skyline in the background there as well as new towers showing themselves. Very cool. You can see the clock tower from here as well. Isn't that a great little sight line there that's developed there between those new towers? Really nice. What a happy accident. I really do enjoy this part of the city. There's a great example here actually that I've just noticed. That the vanilla row homes, which is nothing wrong with it. I actually really like the vanilla row homes. But they all kind of look sort of the same and sort of all use the same colour palette, don't they? When they're zoned in like this. Which I guess there are row homes that do look like this, but it can get a bit samey after a while. I think the creator packs today just highlight how different the creator assets are, aren't they, in terms of variation and stylization and colour schemes and textures and whatnot. They're just different gravy. They're so nice, aren't they? Really, really fawned over them today. Very happy. So otherwise, I think that leaves us with a good place for a detailed time-lapse. I think I renovate a few more of the buildings down here that I'm not super fond of. I think we might even build a gas station down this end of the stroad, actually just off of the highway exits. Which, I really love this area. Love Lower Bourbon. And I get stuck in some inner city spices as well. We've got some back alleys to work with, get some bins, trash. And I want to get some police cars all parked up here as well. Fire engines on the other side. And probably a continuation of this green strip as well as it runs through the city. And yeah, lots of little bits of fun to be had with this, but either way, let's decorate up our northeastern additions, which again, let's just grab a view from the modern architecture campus to a grander, more chiseled, redesigned skyline today. Right, it's much denser, isn't it? Much happier with that. Might even amend some of these towers on the left-hand side here as well. We'll probably change these two out, I think, for something a bit more refined. Either way, let's do some detailing, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's have a little scan down our new, even more Americanized strobe now. So much love and support for these Northeast assets. Such a different range and much more realistic collection of commercial buildings. Of course, when our commercial demand spikes, it will fill out. Also dropped in a little car parking road behind here, which settles in very nicely behind the Four Deeps, actually. I really like this particular street. And then amongst this we have more of the commercial, all the public market building. This old brick one here is super nice. Ignore the people. They will eventually go away. And then, yeah, just these brick textures, aren't they great? So good. Again, from Peanut, from Jazz, from all the guys that were involved in this. You have all done a tremendous job, gents. Absolutely incredible. Really, really nice. Super. Yeah, so I love the big strode heading up there now. Really nice. I also managed to get an alleyway in between here as well, which gives us some nice back alley vibes with all this row housing. More northeast assets in here on the corner as the climb into the now very reformed skyline begins. You can really see it from here, can't you? Played with fusing in a couple of different areas. We've got some down here as well, making these larger blocks, which are quite nice. And then this here is 6 individual assets, kind of 2 of these towers and then 4 of the towers next door to them. Feels like it leads to a very kind of Art Deco inspired kind of New York style building, doesn't it? Again, I don't know my architecture massively well. Art Deco might not be the exact style, but I'm pretty sure New York has a lot of Art Deco style buildings, doesn't it? So I'm going with that. The architecture, please. Might be in the comments to correct us, I'm sure. But I really like it, right? Super cute sort of centerpiece here for the skyline, which has really changed. This block now has been fully formed up and shaped. Same with the one next door with the school. We've got some nice alleyway details. Down here with some fire engines lined up at the firehouse with kind of gates and fencing where you would expect it. And then I did actually try to get some graffiti on this rail foundation, but they wouldn't snap to it unfortunately, which was super annoying. But yeah, the alleyway leading under the bridge and then back out into the park and the wider city, which is getting used as well, which is nice to see. Unfortunately, the rail is also getting used as well. I really wish they wouldn't walk on these, but they are choosing to, and quite a lot of them as well. So, yeah, so it still needs that little bit of extra polish on top, doesn't it? There is also decals, surfaces, and police cars around the back here as well, which really expands that kind of wider police station facility aesthetic that I'm trying to go for here. So I'm happy with that. That spills out into the plaza at the foot of the Imperial State Building, which is such a tall chungus, isn't it? Really reformed the skyline today. A bit of details out here. Kiosks, newspapers, fountains, bins, perhaps a little performing arts stage, hot dog stands. It wouldn't be a northeast inspired city without hot dog stands in every corner, would it? So these are pretty much spread across all the city as well. This block here is super nice, and again I'm coming back to that point we made about wanting the Central Park to be dominated by these towers. It really does, doesn't it? I really love the viewpoints here, especially to that big fuse number over there. How nice is that? I really like it. Just such a fan of this park. This might be my favourite one, although I feel like I've been saying that about everything. I haven't really checked out too much of the Chinese or Southwestern packs yet, since I've been on vacation, so we will eventually get around to checking out a bit of the Southwest stuff as well, I imagine. These blocks all around here are all happy, designed in corners where we needed them. And over here as well is a lot of people waiting for a bus over this way. And then this comes around the back where there's more texture work and surface detailing in and around these major buildings. And I love the views down the street here, isn't it just good? Buildings are so nice. All the different angles on them, they're kind of falling back and two away from the pavement. People sprinting across there, aren't they? Where are they going? Why are they running so fast? You know, I don't think I've ever seen them sprint before. Why are they sprinting? Granted, it's almost like a sprint in slow motion, isn't it? But I don't think I've ever seen them run before like that for some reason. I don't know why that's happening. Regardless. Over here. Reform the waveform tower a little bit over as well. Just to kind of reshape the skyline. There's actually a great viewpoint now. All of the final skyline from here, kind of downtown Bourbon's been really reshaping today using the new stuff. Yeah, so we have the waveform tower, some office space in next door, a little bit more fusing. Again, this is 3 separate buildings, but they're all of this kind of similar theme and brick. And again, they kind of look like they want to be fused, don't they? So I really love this one as well. This is a really nice option for fusing together buildings here. And then same on the other side, touch more fusing with similar style assets. The view from the urban promenade we built a few episodes ago is also looking fantastic as well now, with a much more chiseled and defined skyline for downtown Bourbon. I am tremendously happy with how it turned out, especially from this little perspective right here. looking out over the public market with these new towers in the background. Otherwise, that'll do it for today. Massive shout out to the patrons that support these videos. The real call to our golden eggs: Andrew Perez, Louis Adlam, O'Hay Casino, Phoenix MD, and Bad Wolfo. If you want to get involved in that, links to Patreon, Instant Gaming, best ways to support the channel if you want a little bit more out of it. I think I'll probably do a standalone video very soon, just kind of a bit of a Creator Around the World pack in review, because they've just made an enormous difference to CS 2. Obviously it's had its struggles since launch with asset variation and bugs and optimization and everything else that we know has not been right with the game. But these creator packs, my word, have they breathed some much needed life into it. The sheer number of assets you have available now for all of it, for residential, commercial, industrial, the service buildings, the variety and the style, plus all those buildings then having modular upgrades, and then having those as sub buildings if you're playing with kind of ploppable mods like the ploppable services and find it and stuff. It's pretty mad, really mad actually, just how much the game has just exploded in asset variation. So I think I'll make a bit more of a standalone piece about that. Either way, please do enjoy today's cinematics of the renovated Bourbon, but I'll shut up and leave it there. Let's thank you all so much indeed for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.